As I'm recording this, the US has been in pretty much a lockdown for about 2 weeks. And it's a strange time. It's a hard time. And I haven't known what to say. I mean, I can give advice, but it's the same advice that we're hearing from everybody else because none of us really know what to do in this situation. This is new for everybody. And I know I'm struggling to make it through even doing the things that are recommended, sticking to the schedule, the exercise, the daily gratitude, keeping in touch with people. But even then, it kind of feels like a Band-Aid, doesn't it? Just tamping down the panic just enough to be able to function. And I keep thinking back to the several months that followed my ex suddenly leaving, because there's some similarities, not in the situation, but in the way that it makes me feel. And I've heard from many others who have dealt with the discovery of infidelity or abandonment, and they're echoing those same things, that there are some similarities there. And so I'm just going to talk a little bit about some of those thoughts that I've had. First, I just want to share with you a mantra that I had during that year following my divorce. The mantra was simple. It was, this is bad, but this is not unbearable. And I think that's an important mindset to have. If it's too Pollyanna, it just feels dismissive. There's a lot about this that's hard. And it's okay to acknowledge that. At the same time, hard doesn't mean impossible. And even though this is hard, we can do this. We can get through this. We just have to take it day by day, moment by moment, breath by breath. It's, strange. I've had so many people reach out and tell me that, yeah, this is hard, but it's nowhere near as hard as dealing with the discovery of infidelity was for them. And it made me think about some things. When it comes to this virus, well, we don't have any expectations of a virus. We know that they always act in their own selfish interests. That's what we expect of them. The problem with infidelity, though, is that threat, well, it's coming from somebody that promised to love us and honor us and cherish us. And so we have those expectations that they are going to look out for us. And instead, they're the ones making us ill. Also, when it comes to this virus, we know that there's nothing personal. Yes, there might be certain characteristics that we have, whether habits or genetics, that may make us more vulnerable or less. But the virus doesn't discriminate. It doesn't care. It's going to infect who it infects. But when it comes to infidelity, we don't have that same view of it. We take it personally. Even if the motivations behind it had nothing at all to do with us, we somehow feel that it's a direct, intentional attack. One of the ways that this feels so similar to me is the way that it impacts trust. Before infidelity, I had full faith and trust in not only my husband, but in people in general. And after, I looked at everybody with suspicion, wondering if they had secret lives, wondering what they were doing behind the scenes. Right now, it's much the same, isn't it? I walk the neighborhood and cross the street whenever I see somebody coming towards me. At the grocery store, I scurry away from everybody else, not knowing if perhaps they're infected or if I am, and I don't want to pass it on to them. And that worries me some. It worries me for the long term of how are we going to learn to trust each other again when right now we're looking at everybody with fear and with doubt. But I have to have faith. I look at my own journey with trust after infidelity, and it took time, but I was able to get there. And I hope that this fear of other people doesn't last, and that again, we can have trust in each other. When the initial news started coming out and people realized the severity, one of the reactions was hoarding of toilet paper. And yeah, on the surface, it was sort of funny. I mean, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But I also understood it, because in times like this, when we feel so out of control, we want to do anything that we can to make us feel like we have some control over our lives. And so purchasing toilet paper and stocking up was a way to feel safe, a way to feel prepared. It let us feel like we were doing something against this. And that's a common reaction anytime we realize how little control we have. We do things that are often irrational just to try to make ourselves feel okay. When our world turns upside down like this, it's a time of great uncertainty. One of the ways that we get by in the day-to-day is to have those things that we look forward to. And right now we don't know what we can look forward to. That concert that you have on your calendar for June, you're not sure if it's going to happen. That trip in August, it may have to be canceled. And so it's hard when you don't know what's coming. So I don't have any magic answers for you. I don't have any great sage advice. We're all in this together. And all we can do right now is take this day by day, moment by moment, and breath by breath.